Hey everyone, my name is Eric Izua, and in this video we are going to go through building your own POS that is a point of sale system using C++. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. So this is what we're looking at right now, the Cupcake POS. So we can, as you can see from the menu, we can add a new cupcake, we can check out a cupcake purchase, we can set a new tax rate, we can update the quantity of cupcakes, and we can quit. So stick around and let's get started on building this together. So I am working in Visual Studio 2022, the Community Edition, which is free to download and it's perfect for hobbyists or just fooling around with C++, or well, I guess any other language that Visual Studio compiles. But for our purposes, we are going to be talking mostly about C++. So let's go ahead and create a new project. I'm just going to do a regular console app. Next, and I am going to call it CPP Cupcake. Let's call it point of sale. Just set it up in a spot for my YouTube code bases. And let's go ahead and hit create. Okay, so to do, find some interesting background music. All right. So we've got our generated hello world. Let's run it and let's just see what we see. So we see our hello world. Let's just, I normally do this right away just to help validate the compiler and environment setup. So everything looks good there. All right. So usually, what you do for now, I'm no POS point of sale system expert. I work on quite a few of them on my day job for the web, and so I kind of know what they're like, but by no means am I a total expert on them. But I thought that this is a really nice, we're going to create a really nice beginner-friendly POS system app for the C++ console. And who knows, maybe one day I can then translate it into other web languages like Java or Ruby, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so usually the idea is we have an item that we're trying to sell, a tax that we need to apply on the item. Each item has a quantity, and I think that's about it. So imagine that this is running on some kind of register. So you're at some kind of event, or you've got some kind of shop, and in this case we are building a Cupcake POS application. So imagine that you're running a small bakery, or maybe you've got like a cupcake truck, or one of those cool, I don't know, maybe like a wagon that you just bring through offices, and you want to use this system to sell cupcakes. So let's go ahead. All right, so let's first of all create a, let's see, where are we going to start? So let's first create a item that we want to sell. So basically a cupcake. So I'm just going to call it sale item. Nice and generic. So for now it'll be cupcakes, but maybe one day we'll want to add like cakes or something like that. Okay, so each cupcake has an ID, each cupcake has a price, and each one has a sales tax. And let's see, we've got a description and a quantity. Okay, so let's go ahead and include string. Let's keep it with that. Okay, so now let's do a constructor function. Sale item, and let's just give ID 0, price, let's set that to 00, sales, sales tax, not sale tax. Let's call that, you know what, I like tax rate. Let's do tax rate. Let's rename this now while I'm here. Okay. Refactoring on the fly, everyone. Okay, so we want to set a tax rate of 00, description, let's just empty string, and quantity of 1. And then just an empty constructor body. Okay, and then setting up a destructor, sale item, equals default. Right on. I like using that a lot. Okay. So we're going to create a create method. So let's do our, not method, function. So let's do a description. So let's generate a random ID for this instance. Let's do ID equals rand. Let's mod it with 1,000. +1. So basically what we want to do is generates a random number. It uses the rand function to generate a random number between 1 and 1,000. Between 1 and 1,000. Okay. Could be, you know what? That's a little bit high. Let's just make it 100. Let's not go cray-cray on our basic test system. Okay, so description equals description. Let's name this new description. Okay, and return true. Oh, not return false. Can't return false when I say return true. All right, and then at some point we want to get the ID, so let's just do that now. Return the ID, and we want to get the price. Price and description. Description. Return description. Cool. Okay. So we can't test anything yet, so let's fix all that now. So what we want to do is create a standard list to track all of our cupcakes in our system. And let's do that now. Oh. Times. That autocomplete. Drives me bananas. Okay. So it doesn't find it, which means we've got to add list, include list. And let's just include ctime while we're here. We're to take advantage of randomizing and seed generating. So let's rand time. Okay, generate a new seed for our random function every time we launch this application. Okay, and now we've got a standard list, standard template library list of our sale item objects in our inventory. So let's first initialize and clear our inventory. Okay, and then now let's display our beautiful Cupcake POS main screen. Okay, so while 1, let's put ourselves in an infinite loop. We use system CLS, and that just clears the output that's on the console every time we come through this loop. Now the only caveat here is that it's a Windows only method, so it will not work if you're trying to port this over to Linux or Mac. At that time, maybe I'll look up some of the other ways to do that. Okay. Blah 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 aside. All right. Cupcake POS. And let's do a version. And let's give ourselves a version of, I don't know, 2.0. We'll update that. Maybe I'll update that depending on when this video is and how many updates or bugs I come across after I publish this video. As it always happens, my friends. Kind of like when you're demoing something to someone. One avenue that you don't want people to go down to crash the system is the avenue that just about everyone goes down, which crashes the system. All right. So we want to loop through our inventory of our sale items and then display each one of them on the screen. So what we're going to need is a standard list sale item iterator. And then let's do a nice little for loop. T is inventory begin. We'll initialize the iterator to the first element in the list. And as long as we're not at the end of the list, let's go ahead and okay. IT get no, not get description. We want to get ID. Okay. And we want to get a description of each cupcake item. And then we want to get a price. Whoops. And then we want to get a quantity, right? Do I have a quantity set up? I do not. Okay. And let's do... Okay, so let's get a quantity going. Let's get quantity. Earn quantity. Okay, so quantity, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now what we want to do is... let's give ourselves some spacer lines. And let's display our neat little menu that we saw earlier on. So let's... Okay, so we want to add Cupcake to the system. Then want to... Let's see, checkout or complete... Whoops. Complete a cupcake purchase. So similar to a checkout, you can call it checkout if you're following along, whatever you like. Links will be available in the description for the source code, and you can grab it right from GitHub and fiddle around with it on your own. Okay, so let's... okay, maybe we'll set the new tax rate later. Let's update cupcake quantity. End of line. Of course, let's quit. One day someone may want to quit our beautiful POS. I can't imagine who. Okay, want to have a prompt for the choice. That. Okay, we use the standard input library input stream of, let's call it input option. And we are expecting a char. So let's do char input option. Let's grab a drink of coffee. So let's handle the quit first so that we can test it out. So input option is Q. Let's leave a friendly goodbye message. Maybe something that's a little more punny. Okay, so we want to break from the infinite while loop if we hit the Q. Okay, and then we want to return 0 at the very end, just because we've declared int main. Okay, so let's go ahead and try running this. Okay, so we've got a nice title screen, Cupcake POS, well not title screen, a nice menu screen, Cupcake POS version 0.2.0. We've got add a new cupcake, complete a cupcake purchase, update cupcake quantity, and quit. So let's try and quit. That works. That works. Okay, so why don't we add test cupcake just to have something to display while we build out the system. Let's do sale item test one, great. Let's call it vanilla. Test one, set. We don't have any setters. Okay, that would really help. Okay, so set price. Let's see, 4.25. Test one. Set quantity. Got 5 of them in stock. Okay, and it keeps wanting to use getters, not setters. Okay, and inventory, pushback, test one. All right. So let's put some setters in place and void set price, double price. Let's do price equals new price. Let's do the same thing for quantity. Set quantity. Double new quantity equals new quantity. Nice. Okay. So we've got price, we've got quantity. Let's get this displayed. Okay, so we've got our ID showing up. Our description for our cupcake is vanilla with a price of $4.95 and a quantity of 5. So just to help us out a little bit more, why don't we create some kind of menu, or not menu, why don't we create some kind of header to display those column labels. Okay, so let's go back into our while loop, and just before we go through and display all of our cupcakes, let's put up a neat little table header. So we want a description for each, want a price, and quantity in stock. Okay, so that should display next time we run this. Now, let's update cupcake quantity. So for you, else if option equals you, want to update, or we want to be able to update how many quantities of a particular cupcake we want to have in stock. And this one is kind of a weird one. I was kind of wrestling with this when I came up with this because I wasn't sure if I should just add to the existing quantity for each item or just setting it to the new one, right? So I don't know what your expectation would be if you are running this system, you're running this for your business, and you've already got 5 cupcakes in stock, and then you get another 5. Your chef comes out with another order of, or not another order, with another tray of 5 of them. So if you update the cupcake quantity with 5, does that add to your original 5, or does that just reset everything to 5? So for now, this is just going to reset the quantity that you have of each cupcake identifier. So something else to play around with when you pull this down for yourself. Okay, blah blah blah, right? Let's get on with it. So we've got update cupcake quantity. So we've got 2 variables here to track our ID of the cupcake we want to update, and then the amount we want to, or the new quantity that we want to set it to. Okay. So let's give ourselves a label. So enter ID of cupcake to update. Okay, and then we want to store that choice in our stock ID. And what we're going to do is reuse our iterator for our inventory. There are some neat find functions for C++ and for lists, but sometimes I find them really verbose to use, and why not just reuse our for loop that we've got set up? Okay, so if the stock ID entered is the ID of the current cupcake that we got in the list. Okay, so what we want to do is found it, so enter new quantity. Stock quantity. Okay, and want to set quantity of stock quantity. So we're displaying some text, enter new quantity, and we're waiting for the user to type in an integer for the new quantity, which is stored in stock_quantity, and then we're calling our iterator function, which is pointing to the current cupcake that we want to update, and we're just setting the quantity to the new stock quantity. Okay, so break. Now, what I want to also do is, if we don't, okay, forget it for now. Let's do that. Okay, so let's test this out. Let's go ahead and run this. And okay, so we've got our vanilla cupcake. price of $4.95. We've got 5 of them in stock. Let's update the quantity. Let's update ID number 16. Enter new quantity. Okay, our chef comes in with another 5. So now I want to set it to 10. And we have 10 of them in stock. Okay. So let's do a purchase. Purchasing is weird just because we have got many cases here to take care of. So else if, let's add an input option C or checkout or complete. In my text, in the label in the menu, it says complete, but you can change that to checkout if that makes more sense. Okay, so let's create two checkout quantity, checkout ID, and checkout quantity, and basically we could just cut and paste. So we can cut and paste this entire section. Yeehaw! Okay, so enter Cupcake to purchase and change that variable to checkout ID. Okay, we want to go through and make sure we find it so that it exists. Okay, so enter quantity and we want to store the quantity in checkout quantity. Okay, now we have to first, or what I want to do first, is check that we make sure we have that quantity available of the given ID. Okay, so if checkout quantity is bigger than IT get quantity. Okay, so if we're about to buy something and we just have, someone runs in from the street and says, I want 10 vanilla cupcakes and we only have 5, then I'm sorry, we just can't help you. Okay, so sorry, not enough in stock. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a system pause. And what that'll do is if I don't do this, then right away we won't even see this sorry message. It'll just, our main loop will immediately loop to the main menu and clear all this text. So the pause kind of forces the system to wait for user to push any key. So input, or not input, spacebar, return, anything like that. Okay, so let's give this a test and make sure that at least this works. Okay, so complete a cupcake purchase, ID of 24, enter quantity. Okay, so we have 5 right there, so let's use 10. Sorry, not enough in stock. Okay, that's exactly what we want. It won't delete any. It won't reduce our quantity until a valid purchase is able to complete. Okay, so else we've got enough of the quantity. So IT, and let's do purchase. Not quite sure what to call this method, but purchase checkout quantity. So basically, we want to create a method within sale item that purchases purchase int new quantity. So let's see, quantity equals quantity minus new quantity. I don't know what to call this, but basically we're just updating the inventory of this cupcake sale item object with the given quantity that we want to purchase. Okay, so then we want to calculate. We have to do all of our lovely calculations. So total amount is checkout quantity times the price. Okay, that's good. And then we want the total tax, which is the total amount times the IT get tax rate, which we haven't made, times, because it's a percentage, so we have to multiply it by 0.01. Okay, and then let's print all this out. total amount. And okay, and what we want to do here is total tax, or just tax. Okay, and then we want to calculate our, so then we've got our total tax calculated and displayed. And now we want to display the total sale. So basically the total amount that we have to grab from our customer. So total amount plus total tax. And let's end it, and then let's do a system pause so that we know exactly what to grab. Okay. So we are missing a total amount and total tax. Total amount, total tax. So we've got an IT of get tax rate. Okay. So void. Let's just do it right here. Double get tax rate, return tax rate. Okay. So this should work now. Okay. So we've got our test vanilla cupcake priced at $4.95 per unit, 5 of them in stock. Let's complete a purchase. Enter of ID to purchase, 37. And let's enter a quantity. How about all 5? Okay, so we've got a total amount of $24.75, a tax of 0, and a total sale of $24.75, just because we initially initialized our tax rate of 0 for that cupcake. So let's go ahead and fix this now, and notice our quantity is now updated, that we've bought all 5. Oh, so let's verify that our update works. So let's update our quantity. Let's enter a new quantity, and we now have 100. Okay, let's quit and go back into our system. Now, I want to do a tiny refactor of the system because I feel that it's not really. So up until now, we've got a tax rate that is being tracked on each individual cupcake item, right? As we see right here for sale item. Now, tax rates are a really complicated beast in just about every system I've touched, but usually you've got a tax rate that various tax rates that get applied depending on where you are. Also, this could, depending on if your system is online and you're subject to various taxes like VAT tax from the EU, or depending on the province you're in Canada, you've got a goods and services tax along with a provincial sales tax, so GST and a PST. So yeah, we get lovely amounts of tax up here in Canada. Healthcare ain't free, Anyway. Okay, so what I'm thinking though is refactoring the system to not track the tax rate per cupcake, because then when you add a new cupcake, you're gonna have to also add the same, like a tax rate for it, and it's likely gonna be the same for all of them in your shop, right? So everyone comes in the door, and so instead of needing to force people to enter a new tax rate every time they enter a new cupcake in your system, let's make that a global tax rate for now and track that globally. Okay, so let's take out tax rate from our sale item class. Okay, and let's track it here. So for now, let's call it a tax rate of, it's going to be 0, because we'll let people, we'll let users set their own tax rate. Okay, so let's update our menu to display the tax rate, the global tax rate. So let's display a tax rate, and let's say percentage. finish it that way. Okay, and then let's display a nice horizontal bar to kind of separate ourselves, our tax rate from the menu. Okay, and then let's go down to this menu and let's add an option to set the tax rate. Just because we might sell this system to someone in a different province, if you're, let's say, in Canada, and they suddenly have an 11% tax rate or something like that. Okay, so then let's got C, U, okay, so N before U, input option is N, so we want to enter a new tax rate. So let's C out, enter a new tax rate, and let's say tax rate. Okay, so it's already a double declared up here. Whoops, where was it? Right there. So let's just 0.0. Okay, so our tax rate is right up there, and we are displaying it here. Now let's go down to our checkout and let's just multiply that. We'll update that variable to multiply that by 0.01. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run this sucker. See what we get. Okay, so we've got a vanilla cupcake, $4.95, 5 of them in stock, with a tax rate of 0%. So let's set a new tax rate of 5.5. Okay, so you can see we've got a tax rate of 5.5%. Let's do a purchase. Let's purchase some vanilla cupcakes. Let's just do one, just to verify things look okay. We've got a total amount of $4.95, a tax of 0.27. Total sale is $5.22 that we are taking from that customer. And we now see that our quantity again is lowered to 4. And yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go back into the system. Let's get rid of our test item. Okay, and let's see, we've got, what else can we set up here? Let's get this going here. Okay, so if our inventory is empty, let's display a neat little, hey, that's nice and exciting, hey? All right, let's go ahead and run this. Add a new cupcake, right on. Okay, so let's add a new cupcake. Which doesn't work because we haven't finished it yet. Okay, so let's do that right now. Okay, so else if input option equals A. All right, so now we've got several things to update here. So we want to add, enter new cupcake description. Okay, and got to use C++ input stream clear and ignore. And in my previous video, or in a previous video on our making a to-do list with C++, I kind of go through why we need to do a little bit of special finagling for capturing string input using C++ standard input library. Okay, so we're going to get the line from that, and we're going to call it new description. Okay, and then we're going to get a price. So set price, cupcake price. Oops, cupcake price. And want to do a new price. Okay, and then what we want to do is sale item, so item, create, and then new description. And we want to set a price. The price, new price. And we want to add it to our inventory. Inventory, pushback, item. Perfect. Okay, so let's now. Okay, we've got a string of new description and a new price. Double track the new price. Okay. Everything looks okay there. All right, let's give this a whirl. Okay, let's add a new cupcake. So add a new cupcake. Let's try vanilla. And let's see, vanilla will be $5.95. Okay, so we've got an ID of 1, vanilla, $5.95, a quantity is 1, so let's update that quantity. Let's update ID number 1. We'll give it a new quantity of 300. There we go. Okay, let's add a new cupcake. Let's do chocolate. And let's set the new price for, we're using expensive chocolate, folks, so let's do $6.95. Okay. Got chocolate, $6.95. Quantity of 1, so let's update that quantity of 37. And let's also set it to 300. Right on. Okay, new tax rate. Let's set a new tax rate of 11%. Okay. And now let's do a complete a purchase. So let's check out ID of purchase. So let's say I want to buy chocolate ones. And let's say I want to buy 100 of them. So total amount is $695. Tax of $76.45. Total sale of $771.45 with that given tax rate. Right on. Okay. And let's quit the system. And there you have it, everyone. Within a small amount of time, we managed to put together a pretty cool POS system using C++, and we can use it to track anything now. This system right here is for cupcakes, but search and replace cupcake with your favorite thing that you want to track. Books or, I don't know, movies, whatever you want to do. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun putting this together for you. If you like what you see, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Peace.